I'm wearing this Miami Vice inspired shirt in 2019, which means we can only be talking about one show, Stranger Things. In 2015, Netflix added the Duffer Brothers created show Stranger Things to their original programming lineup. The show combined science fiction, horror, and 80s nostalgia to create, in my opinion, one of the best shows on television. But between monsters, psychic powers, and government-run conspiracies, this can only exist in the realm of fiction, right? Right? Well, that depends on whether or not you buy into conspiracy theories. Here's a quick summary of the conspiracy theory that inspired Stranger Things. The working title for the show was originally Montauk. I found a lot of articles that claimed this, though no one confirmed that this was actually true, so for now we're just going to take it with a grain of salt. But if this were true, it wouldn't be too surprising considering the similarities between Stranger Things and a book published under the title The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time, which covered time travel experiments supposedly taking place at the Montauk Air Force Base in Montauk, New York in the 60s. The book begins with an experiment called the Philadelphia Experiment occurring in 1943. This was an attempt to hide the USS Elridge from radar. And while the experiment was successful, there were some side effects, such as crew members being embedded into the ship itself, and some losing their minds in the aftermath. So, just a couple of little side effects. It's not a big deal.
Davey, can't go through this again.
The Philadelphia Experiment.
When they tried the experiment again, the ship actually teleported from Philadelphia to Norfolk, Virginia, and then back again. After some more deaths and disappearances, the US Congress decided that these experiments were too dangerous and put an end to them. But the US Department of Defense, using $10 billion in Nazi gold, because of course they did, decided to continue funding the experiments, and they were moved to Montauk, New York. Here's some parallels between Stranger Things and the Montauk Project. Kids were kidnapped and experimented on. A monster actually came through a portal and killed some of the researchers. The portal had to be closed and the monster was eventually destroyed. And of course, metahumans with psychic powers were created here. Other experiments resulted in the creation of the internet, the Jersey Devil, and the Men in Black. And they also created AIDS, which, of course they did. Why wouldn't they? But definitely the best part of the whole conspiracy theory is Nikola Tesla, yes, that Nikola Tesla, was said to oversee the project. This was happening in the 60s, and Nikola Tesla was born in 1856, so he would have been pushing 100 at the time of these experiments. Obviously, I don't buy into any of this. It seems more likely that Nichols and Moon just wanted to get that angle of this is all based on true events to sell their book. They even say in the book, quote, "Whether you read this as science fiction or nonfiction, you're in for an amazing story." There's some further intrigue surrounding the series. In 2014, Daniel Kessler sued the Duffer Brothers after he says he pitched them a sci-fi story set near an abandoned military base. He even has a short film titled Montauk. It should be noted though, in May of 2019, Kessler withdrew his lawsuit, saying, quote, "After hearing the deposition testimony this week of the legal expert I hired, it is now apparent to me that, whatever I may have believed in the past, my work has nothing to do with the creation of Stranger Things." Interesting side effect of this whole thing is the question of who owns a story. Had Nichols and Moon just said that this was fiction from the start, would they be the ones with the Netflix series? Probably not, but their insinuation that this was all based on fact opened the door for anyone to be inspired by their stories. Look at it this way, no one truly owns a conspiracy theory. Take Area 51 for example. Anyone's free to make a movie, video game, or Facebook page inciting people to storm the base without any recourse. And most importantly, it comes down to what you do with the existing lore and the compelling characters that you yourself create. The Montauk Project and Stranger Things share many similar elements, but one insists on you believing that all this happened, while the other embraces camp and implores you just to have a good time with the story. So I guess leave us a comment down below. What do you think? Do you think the Duffer Brothers were heavily inspired by the Montauk Project? Personally, I do, but like I said, it all comes down to the creation of interesting characters like Elle, Hopper, and even Steve that makes Stranger Things stand apart. And those elements are what made Netflix believe in them and gave them 3 seasons so far. Oh, also check out the new episode of The Reviewers where Dylan and I review Stranger Things Season 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Brian Maher, I'm a fake nerd, and this has been some real news.